me pop this in right here. Testicle. There we go. Right now we're about almost an hour early because our groom, Rob, he said that he wanted to do this specific beach. But I told him when I checked that the tide is supposed to be a little bit high. So at the time that we're supposed to shoot, it's looking pretty high if I'm being honest. But he said this is the date that he wanted to do. So we're gonna work with that. So what we're doing, the reason we're here an hour early is because we're gonna go down and see how the tide is. If the tide is too high, we already have a plan B. There's another beach that's right up the street. That beach, you don't necessarily need to be on the sand because you're gonna get that beach look. You're gonna shoot from the cliffs and stuff like that. And there are some other areas where even if the tide is high, you can still safely be on the sand in just some specific areas. So we're coming here for plan A. We're gonna see if this works. And if not, we got plan B, which to be quite honest, plan B is our usual plan A. That's usually where we shoot. But he wants to do this one, so we're gonna go and check it out, and then we'll go from there. So another thing is we're gonna be testing out these ND filters today. So they go on the back of the Sigma 14 to 24, and what they're gonna do is they're gonna cut down a lot of light so we can do some slow exposures with the waves and stuff like that. We're gonna see how that works out, but I'm pretty optimistic on that because, I mean, it's just an ND filter. It's just they go in the back instead of the front. The thing we were just talking about is that when you check the tide, you wanna see what time low tide is, what time low tide is, and what time high tide is. Sometimes as you're shooting, it's going from high tide to low tide, and that's okay, as long as you're able to shoot. Right now, it's increasing, so it's gonna keep getting higher and higher.
Rise up, gonna get higher and higher. Woo!
Closer to us, so right now it's not looking too good, but we'll see, Rob. I would like to shoot here because it's something different, because we always shoot at the same locations, more or less. And the reason for that is that the other locations, they don't require a permit. There's a bunch of areas that we can shoot. The terrain changes quite a bit. So yeah, ideally I'd like to shoot here to get something new and something different, but if we can't, I mean, it's not the worst. And this beach is Table Rock Beach, which we've never shot here. I've seen photos of it here and there, but I've never actually came here to shoot. So far, I mean, listen, one thing as photographers, wherever we go, we have to find the beauty in any location. There's some locations that we walk in and we go, what the hell are we gonna do here? And you figure it out because that's why they hired you. So luckily this is not one of those cases, but it is a little bit smaller than what we normally shoot at. So there's a little bit more that we're gonna have to dig to be creative. I do think we're gonna be able to shoot a good amount at least. There's enough that we can shoot here. Hey guys,
how's it going?
I had a question for you.
Yeah.
I have a couple, I'm gonna be doing some photos for them in a little bit.
Okay.
But I know the tide is supposed to be coming up. How long do you think it'll be until it's like, you know, all the way up here?
I mean, it probably won't come all the way to where we're standing right
Yeah.
now. It's going up for a little over an hour.
Yeah.
So you can see it's where it's dark.
Yeah.
Right here, it pushed up to right there.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah.
It's hard to predict, but I bet it'll come up another couple feet.
Yeah, that's,
Probably it. It's
okay.
not gonna like blast up the cliff or anything.
Yeah, because I know some beaches, yeah.
We
Go
have a
ahead.
little bit larger surf today
Yeah,
on occasion, so I wouldn't
don't put them too close.
risk it anywhere where it's wet.
Exactly. All right, so right now I'm taking off the variable ND filter from the 35 to 150. I was gonna use it, but I don't think we're really gonna need much of that today because it's so overcast, so I don't want to kill any stops of light. Even though it has a minimum and a maximum, I don't really think it's necessary. I don't want to be pushing the ISO unnecessarily. So that's going to get put away. One thing I hate about using a ND filter is that you can't put the lens hood on because it makes it a little bit bigger. So you guys know from a previous video that I posted, I always like to keep the lens hood on. So that kind of annoys me, but you know, it is what it is. There's worse things in life. And for the 14 to 24 from Sigma, we're going to be using these HIDA filters. There are 4 different filters with different amount of stops that it kills. I know one of them, the highest one, that's unnecessary. It's like 10, I think it's 10 stops or 9 stops. I have it written down. I'll put it down below of stops that it's going to kill. We don't need that many, but we're probably going to use maybe one of the ones that have a little bit less stops that it kills. And the reason for that is we want to be able to kill the exposure enough so we can have slow waves. So when the waves hit, it's going to look like the water is moving around them, and they're going to look stiff, or not stiff, but they're going to look frozen because we're going to put a flash on them. With the flash, whatever gets hit by the flash is going to be frozen, and whatever doesn't get hit by the flash is going to be recording basically for however long we do the exposure, like a second, a half a second, whatever the case may be. We also want to put a mag grid on our flash because that way it'll narrowed down the light so it's not lighting the water. Because if it lights the water, it's going to freeze it, which defeats the purpose of them holding still for however long. I'm also going to be using a tripod because I don't have I don't have the hands for that to be that steady, to hold for a second. Even half a second, it's impossible. You're going to get blur. Putting it on a tripod is the best thing to do. One thing that we do is we tell our couple, hey, hang out for a couple of minutes. We're going to set the shot up so they're not standing in the way of the waves while we're setting it up. Once we have it set up, then we tell them to stand in, boom, 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 shoot for a couple of minutes, then they can step out. So that way the wave doesn't accidentally get them. Another tip is we tell them to take their shoes off, especially the guys, because usually guys are wearing like leather shoes or something like that. And I don't want them, you know, a wave to come up and wreck their shoes. So take the shoes off, roll out the pants a couple of times so it looks a little more beachy. And then after that, you know, just get a few frames like that. And last thing, I don't care how big or how small your shoot is, always shoot with 2 memory cards, one backing up into the other, because if one card fails, you always have the backup from the other. So we always shoot with 2 of them, and I'm gonna use 264s because I'm not 264 gigabytes because I'm not gonna use 128s. So let me find the other one, and then.
Okay, well at least it's not raining.
Yes, exactly. So don't listen to the Weather Channel because they lie to you. They are a filthy liar. Right now, we're over here using a shoot-through umbrella as an actual umbrella because I'd rather wreck a $30 umbrella than our equipment. So you know what? Let's step back a little bit because I think my bag's getting a little wet. And so it says it's supposed to stop in 10 minutes. The rain is supposed to stop in 10 minutes. So right now, we're just waiting it out and seeing if it actually stops. I was a little more hopeful before, but now it's looking pretty bad. We're gonna see if Apple weather is correct in a few minutes. And then the couple, we told them to chill in the car, like just hang out in the car. It doesn't make any sense for them to wait with us here. And once it passes through in 10 minutes, then we'll start heading down. 10 minutes, allegedly. But yeah, this is photographer life, guys. It's glamorous.
Wait for that.
Nah, I don't mind, dude. Whatever. We'll wait until it dies down. If we have to reschedule, like if it just doesn't let out, then we reschedule. It's not the end of the world.
We gotta find a good spot too, you know?
Yeah.
A good spot to shoot.
Yeah, it'll be fine. So we'll wait it out. We'll just wreck this umbrella. Actually, no, it won't. This is not the first time I've done this. Cool. All right. We'll see what happens next. Stay tuned. We were just talking if we did have to postpone. Honestly, it's not the end of the world. We grab some tacos. We grab, not an alcoholic beverage because we don't really drink. We grab a drink and, hang out for a little bit, go home and shoot it another day. There's worse things in life. To me, this is fun. Like, we're over here laughing that we're standing in the fucking rain waiting for it, for it to die down.
To clear out.
I mean, I still think that we're going to be able to shoot because if you look that way, you see that it looks clearer by the water. So I do think we're still going to be able to shoot. What if we don't? I mean, guys, you got to learn to laugh at what happens in life. I gave the couple the out yesterday. I told them if they wanted to postpone because it looked questionable, that we could, but I can't force anybody to do anything. So they're like, no, we'll go, and it looks like it's supposed to stop. I'm like, okay, and now we're standing here with an umbrella. So we'll see.
Yeah.
And I'll have you guys looking straight this way. I'm gonna step back so I can zoom in. Good. Rob, let me have you looking at her. Merlin, keep looking this way. Perfect. Merlin looking this way. Smiling. There we go. Beautiful. Awesome. Perfect. Hold that. Nice one. Yeah. The only thing with this is that even though it's really pretty in person, shooting it is kind of a pain because it's so much brighter over there and you want to keep the sun behind them. So either you're using flash or you're underexposing it quite a bit. But I mean, that's just me being a technical photographer complaining. Perfect, got it. We got one more, hold still. You can go for a kiss, just make sure you hold it and Rob your nose to the other side of the camera. There we go. Hold that right there. Hold still. I didn't have a chance to film a conclusion at the end of this video, but I would say the main takeaway from this is just roll with the punches, guys. I mean, you saw me and Eli under the umbrella laughing about it. Nothing ever goes completely as planned, and that's okay. And even if we did have to reschedule the shoot, I mean, at the end of the day, there are worse things than that. So roll with the punches, have fun, and sometimes things work out great. This was actually the last 10-minute bit of rain that we're going to have for the next, I would imagine, few months. So it was pretty cool to be there for that and then have an amazing shoot. Thank you guys so much for watching. And again, if you'd like to subscribe, we would really appreciate it. Thank you again.